Hello again. When millions of people were out of work at the time that Margaret Thatcher was Prime Minister, the emphasis was, quite rightly, on creating more jobs so that those on the dole could work. Today, the situation is just the same. Indeed, it's a good deal worse. Between 3 and 5 million people are on benefits because they are out of work. But the only action which anybody seems to be considering is an increase in immigration. I'm certainly no economist, but to me this sounds quite mad. Just imagine if, during the Thatcher years, it had been suggested that the best way of reviving the economy would be to initiate mass immigration. It would have been so obviously loopy that we would all have laughed. I think it says something about how we have, like the White Queen in Alice Through the Looking Glass, grown accustomed to believing 6 impossible things before breakfast, that we do not simply dismiss the idea of immigration as a cure for unemployment with the scorn which it deserves. Nobody, least of all the government, will admit how many people are out of work in Britain. All sorts of cunning schemes have, since Thatcher's time, been devised to conceal this information because it's so politically damaging. Let's face it, unemployment largely defined her premiership. So we've pulled off tricks like raising the school leaving age to 18, which worked wonders on the figures for youth unemployment, and also we encourage people to claim to be disabled. Most of us think of being disabled as blind people or those in wheelchairs, but I wonder if anybody would care to guess how many disabled people there are officially in the United Kingdom. I give a link to a paper from the House of Commons Library in the description to this video, and I quote from it now. The latest estimates from the Family Resources Survey indicate that 14.6 million people in the UK had a disability in the 2020 to 2021 financial year. This represents 22% of the total population. Yes, more than 1 person in 5 in this country is now disabled. This too is a government-sponsored scam to keep down unemployment figures. The introduction of universal credit was part of the same general deception. By shifting loads of people from unemployment benefit to disability benefit, and then mixing those two categories up with people who work part-time, the government hoped that it would be impossible for anybody to work out how many unemployed people there were in the country. In some cities, the numbers are astounding and dwarf anything seen when Thatcher was Prime Minister. In Blackpool, for instance, 25% of the working population are out of work and on benefits. The total across the entire country is more than 5 million. Just think for a moment, 1 person in 4 of working age in Blackpool is out of work. And yet, of course, we read of employers like Lord Wolfson, the boss of Next, calling for more immigration because jobs in warehouses are not being filled. I give a link to Lord Wolfson's cries for help on the immigration front, also in the description to this video. Where are the warehouses where there are not enough workers and we need to import foreigners to work in them? Again, in the description to this video, I give a link to an advertisement for a warehouse worker at Next in the Dearne Valley near Rotherham. It is unskilled work for which we hardly need to be issuing a visa for a foreign specialist from India or Nigeria. How many people in Rotherham are on universal credit relating to being out of work, do you think? Well, 16% of the working age population of that city are on benefits. Can anybody see anything strange about this yet? We read in the newspaper this morning that Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is considering introducing a new type of visa for foreign workers hoping to come to this country. It is provisionally called a growth visa, and it will apparently revive the economy by bringing in lots of skilled workers. One does not need to be a tin hat wearing conspiracy theorist to smell a rat here. 5 million people out of work and unskilled vacancies unfilled, and yet the answer to all our economic problems seems to be, once again, immigration. I have the feeling that not all is as it appears when the cure for mass unemployment is claimed to be mass immigration.